I started reading Dr. Stone 2 years ago now, and I ended up forgetting about it. Recently, I heard Dr. Stone ended back in March, so I read it in its entirety. I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. But I also was kind of surprised because I also read another work by the writer of Dr. Stone, Inagaki, and it turns out he also wrote Eyeshield 21. So yeah, I was very surprised that I saw a whole lot of similarities between Dr. Stone and Eyeshield 21. Just how things are written. Inagaki just has this like way of writing where he's able to make these very intense situations, like whenever things are kind of like heading towards the climax or there's just a bunch of crazy chaotic things going on. He's able to make things super intense and also able to make these very beautiful and like serene moments that are just paired with Boichi's art. It turns out like it just looks super cool. I really think Dr. Stone has one of the greatest starts within manga. That first chapter, or like the first few chapters with everyone being petrified and going back into the Stone Age, that hooked me so much. Now, Senku as the protagonist, I think we've seen protagonists like him in other shonen manga like Death Note. Actually, I don't know if that was shonen. You know, with Light, he's also like this genius, and obviously Senku is a genius. But I'd say the difference between him and someone like Light is that Senku, although he really just knows everything about science and how to apply it into real life, and in that way he's a genius, Senku still has to rely on other people and other characters to get back to where civilization once was. That like whole goal of the story, it was pretty fun, but at some moments I kind of thought it was a bit boring. Yeah, like I said, I really liked seeing a genius still having to work and have to rely on other people, but at some moments it kind of made the story a little bit boring because Senku could just go around reviving a whole bunch of people to, you know, basically speedrun civilization. Near the start, it was very cool to see. When we got near the end, when we were going to see Y-Man and, you know, the final boss of the story, made the miracle water and stuff a little bit boring because whoever Senku needed, all he'd need to do is just find some random person to do a specific job and then all their problems would be solved. But I mean, that was like near the very end of the story. But I guess with a lot of manga, you really just gotta look at the journey going from here to there, and all the arcs in between. I really enjoyed the whole stuff with Ishigami Village. That was very fun. The Stone Wars, the chase through South America with Dr. Zeno and his subordinates and allies and stuff, seeing Senku get chased by them. The climax to that last arc, or one of the very last arcs of the story, really showed what I was talking about earlier with Senku having to rely on other people and having to trust the people he revived. I feel like with a lot of mangas that have this evil, or not evil, this like genius type of character, they could just make it easy for that character to solve a whole bunch of problems and stuff. But no, with Dr. Stone, we get to see other characters, other smaller minor characters come into play and actually be a big part of progressing the story. So I really enjoyed that. Dr. Stone, it really just built a huge cast of characters, and I also liked some of the antagonists. Like one of the first ones we see, Tsukasa, he started the Stone Wars, and I kind of like how he isn't just a bad guy to be a bad guy. He has his own reasoning, his own philosophy as to why he's doing the things he's doing. There was also that one super evil guy from Petrification Kingdom, Ibara. He just looks so evil. And also during the Petrification Kingdom, the way Senku has to like play around the petrification and stuff, he's able to write some super insane and intense moments that just go crazy. Although I'm not gonna go and say that every single character within Dr. Stone is, you know, my favorite character of all time. I really enjoyed some of the characters, and especially like Chrome. I think Chrome kind of represented one of the major themes themes of Dr. Stone. You know, the whole story is about using science to restoring humanity back to where it once was. And Chrome, he's kind of a funny character because even though everyone got turned to stone, there were still descendants of some people that didn't get petrified. And Chrome, he's one of them. He is still curious about the world. Although thousands of years have passed, humanity still was curious about the world and wanted to explore the unknown. Chrome, you know, all he's really doing is collecting rocks and minerals and stuff, but still, that's a form like of science and trying to learn more about the world. So even without Senku, humanity still would have kept progressing. Kind of feel like the ending of Dr. Stone could be like very controversial and kind of underwhelming. At least that's how it felt to me. A little bit underwhelming because, you know, we do figure out who Y-Man is. I'm not gonna spoil anything. Even with that, we still see Senku. The way Dr. Stone ends, we kind of see like a bigger unknown is kind of like revealed, I guess. That's a weird way to put it. That's kind of how Dr. Stone ends. Senku, although he meets his goal of the story, he still wants to keep progressing and keep pushing forward. And yeah, that's really the major theme of Dr. Stone, how humanity will always be curious about the unknown and wanting to explore and adventure into things they've never seen, things they've never heard about. I guess that's really all I wanted to say about Dr. Stone. A very big cast of characters and a fun plot, a fun story. In some parts, it was boring, and or at least for me, it was kind of boring in some parts, but overall, I really enjoyed Dr. Stone. A lot of interesting things happened. Anyways, Dr. Stone, such a solid series. I just want to say thanks for watching, and peace.